Vacation rentals are our fastest growing type of stay, making up 37% of Q1 2025 room nights. We have 8.1 million listings globally, and we're growing every day. Plus, 45% of new vacation rental hosts get their first booking within a week of listing on our platform.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to our webinar. I'm excited you're joining us today. You're here with VR Nation, and we're a national organization with roots in the Pacific Northwest, originally founded back in about 2010. Our mission is to elevate the short-term rental industry through education, networking, local advocacy, and growing our online community of property managers. We would love to see you in person at our next roadshow in beautiful Lake Tahoe on October 22nd. And at our annual national conference, which takes place April 28th through April 30th, 2026 in Denver. We host a weekly podcast on all major streaming platforms and a bi-weekly webinar series focused on education and industry awareness. Now let's jump in. Welcome Emily Tusick with Booking.com, a leading digital marketing platform for listing and promoting your properties online. This one is for our property managers, and welcome, Emily.
Thanks so much, Tara. Okay, so this is the second of our webinar. This is the second webinar in our three-part series. If you missed the September session, we covered the value of partnering with Booking.com, and you can find the replay link on the VRN Nation website. Today, we are going to cover myth versus reality and all the common misconceptions about Booking.com as a host. And then next up on November 5th, we will shift the focus to vacation rental performance. So sharing strategies and tools to build strong foundations and boost your results. As Tara already mentioned, there's a few great VRN Nation events coming up. So the roadshow in Truckee and Lake Tahoe area, as well as the annual conference in my hometown of Denver, Colorado. Okay, so today is about separating fact from fiction. We know there are common misconceptions about being a Booking.com host, so we're going to tackle those head on and highlight the latest features designed to help you streamline your property management and maximize your revenue. So let's get right into it. We know you've got questions and maybe a few preconceptions about Booking.com and vacation rentals. Our goal is to uncover the real value of partnering with us. We want to know, are you reaching the maximum number of vacation rental guests? Are you leveraging the upgrades we've made to the host experience? So let's dive in and find out. So myth number one, Booking.com caters more to hotels and doesn't attract vacation rental guests. This is probably one of the biggest things that we hear, that we're a hotel-focused site and vacation rentals just get lost. So the reality is that vacation rentals are central to Booking.com. We have welcomed over 1.8 billion vacation rental guests since 2010, and vacation rentals are a core part of Booking.com. Vacation rentals are our fastest growing type of stay, making up 37% of Q1 2025 room nights. We have 8.1 million listings globally, and we're growing every day. Plus, 45% of new vacation rental hosts get their first booking within a week of listing on our platform. Vacation rentals are marketed front and center on our high traffic website and mobile app. We are one of the top 3 most downloaded travel apps globally. This means you get instant visibility to a massive audience. So another common myth that we hear is that I'm already listed elsewhere and I have enough demand. So the reality is that you may be missing out on demand like international travelers and hotel bookers who are open to a new type of stay. We can bring them to your properties. 1/3 of Booking.com customers don't have a stay type preference and discover and book vacation rentals through our cutting edge Gen AI technology. So this tech lets travelers search in their own words, like, I want a house close to the beach, good for families and our dog with air conditioning, leading to less strict filtering and exposing your property to more potential guests. Booking.com is also really popular with families. So families are our fastest growing customer group, and families love choice between space, sleep, activity, and safety. They often switch between vacation rentals and hotels, which means if you're not on Booking.com, you might not reach them. When families were surveyed about where they stay for leisure, 66% mentioned that they stay in vacation rentals. Andrew Shore from Hospitable said it perfectly. Expanding distribution on Booking.com doesn't just shift demand, it creates it, with some hosts seeing 30% of their bookings coming from us. So Booking.com helps you reach travelers from all corners of the world. You may not have known that 1 in 2 stays booked on Booking.com are for international trips. We handle the heavy lifting by translating your listing into 45 different languages and processing global payment methods so you don't have to. When you partner with us, your property benefits from world-class year-round marketing. So this includes massive global campaigns like our WNBA sponsorship. We're also the presenting sponsor for Major League Baseball, which is really exciting. And we have locally relevant ads across all major search engines. We're consistently bringing a fresh stream of travelers to your listings. So the next myth is that Booking.com does not handle online payments. And this is something that we hear all the time, where the reality is we do offer payments by booking. So in the past, when we first started listing vacation rentals on our site, we did not have a payment product available to our partners and hosts, so meaning they had to handle payment directly themselves. Now with payments by booking, you can unlock a massive global market and have greater revenue security when guests pay online. So when you use payments by booking, you can access a wider guest market worldwide and have greater revenue security. When guests pay online, you see fewer cancellations. Partners who are using payments by booking see on average 14% less cancellations and 85% less no-shows. As far as reaching a larger market, payments by booking supports a wide array of payment methods. So all the major credit card options and different global payment, online payment processors like PayPal and Apple Pay. And then we also have a ton of trusted local options across the Americas, Europe, and Asia, which definitely helps you increase your global audience by accepting their preferred method of payment. We also offer different solutions to increase affordability for guests, like pay now, pay later, or pay over time. We're also making it easier for property managers to manage their finances on a group level. So we have auto onboarding of new properties to payments by booking, meaning if your portfolio expands and you add a new listing, you can toggle a setting on. So it's automatically enrolled in payments by booking. You don't have to go onto the extranet and add it. It's something that we can automate for you. And we also now have group invoicing and reconciliation in the extranet for multiple listings. So if you have been a host with Booking.com for a while, you may remember invoices used to be sent on a per listing basis. Now you're able to see all of your invoices in one place for all of your listings. So definitely makes it a lot easier and a lot less of a headache than going to each individual listing to look at the invoice. And then coming in 2026, we'll also have payments by booking, group onboarding, and reconciliation available through your preferred connectivity software. So one less thing that you have to do on the extranet. So next up, myth 4 is that the idea that listing with Booking.com means losing control over who stays at your property. The reality is we put you in the driver's seat and you are now in control of when to accept guests. So Booking.com was traditionally an instant booking platform. However, we realized that doesn't necessarily work for some of our vacation rental hosts. So we now have request to book functionality. This is available on the extranet through the Pulse app and your connectivity software. So this allows you to control when you can accept guests and gives you a peace of mind when hosting on Booking.com that you are able to further decide if you want to accept the guest or not. So you already have access to guest travel history, verified emails, and credit cards, but we're very excited to be rolling out more robust verified guest features soon. So guests will have an identity verified badge. And this will again help you further decide if you want to accept the guest or not, giving you a greater sense of security when listing on our platform. Okay, so now on our final myth is that managing my property on Booking.com is way too much effort. And the reality is that we've made it simpler to begin and manage your property through your connectivity software of your choice. So we fully support you through your connectivity software with key features like onboarding, payments, and request to book. And Booking.com partners with over 700 different connectivity providers. So chances are we have a connection with the provider that you're already using. And if you go on our partner.booking.com website, you're able to see every provider that we connect to. But again, we connect to all of the major vacation rental providers, and it's more likely than not that we do have a direct connection with your provider. So now you can also import your property with our fast 15-minute registration experience. Even better, we're bringing in a Gen AI powered assistant later this year to import your property details from any other travel websites, giving you more features, flexibility, and speed. So if your connectivity provider doesn't support publishing your content directly, you can use other websites that you're listed on to import all of your details, which makes the process a lot quicker and easier rather than having to upload like photos for each property and select every amenity that you have available. So it makes it onboarding much quicker. And then I spoke about this a little bit earlier. Request to book is already available. However, we are continuing to make improvements through your software providers. So rather than logging into the Booking.com extranet to accept or decline a request, you'll be able to do this for your connectivity provider. And then coming in early 2026, we'll have request to book payment pre-authorizations. So you can require a commitment of payment at the time the request is sent in, giving you even greater peace of mind. And then lastly, so the landscape of vacation rentals is definitely evolving fast, and Booking.com is building tools and features that you need to thrive. So we've dispelled some myths today, showing you the reality of our global reach, guest control, secure payments, and easy integrations with your current software, including some different resources for you. So if you're currently not using a provider, you can go to partner.booking.com or join.booking.com to learn more. If you are using a provider, you likely are able to get started directly through them without having to go to the booking.com website at all. So if you are using a provider, I recommend reaching out to them. Otherwise, check out any of our resources to find more information about getting started with Booking.com. All right, and then we're going to move into some questions.
Thanks, Emily. I have a quick question for you. Is the payments by Booking.com, is that optional? Can you still run credit cards through your PMS software? Can you toggle it on and off and choose which way to take payments, whether it's bookings or the property manager being the merchant of record?
Yeah, absolutely. So payments by booking is not a requirement. You can choose to either process payments through your own process by receiving the credit card details and then collecting payment via your connectivity provider, or you can use payments by booking. We definitely do recommend using payments by booking because it takes a lot of the hassle out of processing payments on your end. And a really great benefit of using payments by booking is that, if you've dealt with it once, everyone knows it's the worst headache in the world, that Booking.com covers chargebacks indefinitely. So if a guest attempts to charge back after they've stayed, if you're using payments by booking, regardless if the guest is successful or not, we're still paying you out on that reservation and we're handling that directly with the guest. So that definitely takes a lot of the headache out. And then, of course, just the operational headache of processing payments, using payments by booking handles all of that. All of that being said, whatever works best for you as a host, you can choose either option.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Thank you. What is the cost for listing on Booking? Like the cost of the property manager?
Yeah. So Booking.com has a flat commission rate we have a flat commission rate on the nightly rate, but we don't charge a guest service fee. So I know some of the competitors are changing their structure a bit. Our structure has always been a little bit different, where we don't charge a guest service fee. We just charge a flat commission rate to the host. Generally in the United States, it's around 15%. All of that being said is that we don't charge the guest an additional fluctuating service fee like some of our competitors do. So you always know what the guest is paying and have greater control over your rates and how you want to set them up with our commission cost. It's flat. You always know what you're paying, and there are no surprises for the guest. So our partners seem to really enjoy the fact that they know exactly what their guests are paying. I've heard anecdotally from other partners that with some of the different online travel agents, that it can sometimes be hard to figure out how much the guest actually paid for the reservation based on like the fluctuating guest service fee. So our structure is very straightforward.
Okay. Yeah. And you can bake it into the rate so the guest doesn't see any extra garbage fees.
Yeah,
That's nice to know. What happens if your PMS software doesn't have a direct API connection to Booking.com? Like I'm with LMPM, and LMPM does not have a direct connection with Booking.com. How do you solve that?
Yeah. So with using LMPM as an example, we connect to BookingPal through them. So in addition to kind of all-in-one softwares that are the property management system and the connectivity provider, we also connect with a lot of providers that are channel management specific. So they might not necessarily be the PMS. All of that being said, each year we evaluate new providers and are always adding new integrations. If you don't want to use a channel manager in conjunction with your property management system, we also have calendar syncing. So you could use like an iCal link, and you could also, another option would be to sync your rates and availability through a different travel website. So one of the other OTAs, you can sync your calendar to one of the other OTAs via, we call it an iCal sync. Full transparency, it's not something that I recommend because it is a very basic rates and availability connection when you're using a calendar. So definitely recommend using an all-in-one property management system or using a property management system that can integrate with a channel manager.
Okay. Good to know. How is Booking.com marketing vacation rentals worldwide besides just your app online?
Yeah. So I had mentioned the WNBA and our Major League Baseball sponsorship. We also advertise on the Super Bowl. So I don't know if you saw our commercial last year, but it was the most viewed commercial during the Super Bowl featuring the Muppets. They were like our spokesperson for the year. It was super cute. And then we're constantly doing activations and really fun things to be more ingrained in cultural moments. So we just did a really fun sponsorship with the Boys to Men, where they stayed at a vacation rental listed on Booking.com. And then there was a whole campaign around it to see how the Boys to Men spend their vacations. And then we also do really fun things on TikTok, which is very, very popular, as everyone knows now. So we're involved in different cultural moments. And if you go on our blog, you can see all the different fun activations that we do. Some more that are specific to the vacation rental end. In addition to the Boys to Men, it was either last year or the year before, we did a really fun Little Mermaid. Like we took over a house and decorated it, and a guest won a contest to go stay there. So we're doing all kinds of little fun activations like that, other than just like the standard marketing.
Yeah, the standard Google search or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, good to know. I didn't know that. I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but another question came in from a listener. Will Booking let the host edit the description of the listings?
Yeah. So actually, this would be a good myth to add to our docket is something that comes up a lot, especially with vacation rental hosts, is that they don't necessarily love our descriptions and how they're generated. So how they are generated is based on the amenities that you have selected. And the reason that we have the descriptions in place is because they are translated into 45 different languages. So we make sure that the description is easily translatable into all of those languages, and the words that are used are words that are able to be translated. All of that being said, if you log into the extranet and go to a listing and go under your profile, vacation rental hosts, in addition to the description that Booking.com generates, you're also able to put a property description and a host description in your own words. So it's definitely something I recommend doing. A lot of hosts don't know that this is something that we offer. So similar to some of the other online travel websites, you're able to market your own company. You're able to upload your logo and a property description in your own words. So likely you already have your property descriptions already written, whether that be from your direct website or some of the other online travel agencies. So you can copy that in. And then again, the host profile is something that I highly recommend everyone doing, because guests are very savvy these days. So not only if you list on Booking.com, are you going to get bookings from Booking.com? You might also increase your direct bookings, because again, guests are pretty savvy. They might see luxury getaways and Google it and then book directly through you. So something I highly recommend doing. For the property descriptions, they have to be obviously put in on an individual listing level because they're specific to that listing, but the host profile can be set up in bulk. If you don't want to copy that into each one of your listings, you can contact Booking.com through the extranet and request that the host profile be added to all of your listings in bulk. So making it a little bit quicker for you to have that set up. But yeah, logo, company description, property description, not as common, but you can also put in your own words about the neighborhood. So some partners choose to do that, most don't, but that is available to you as well.
Okay. And then can you do that if you're API connected through your property management software? Because what I've found sometimes is if I have a connection to an OTA through my software, and I go into the particular, say, Booking.com's extranet, and I do updates, then, at midnight that night, it gets overridden by the PMS software for the standardization process. So if I update the extranet and add all these extra details, is it going to stick? Or because my API connection to my property management software, it's just going to be completely overridden at midnight every night?
Yeah. So that's a great question. As far as like changing around amenities on the Booking.com extranet, that would be overwritten. So I wouldn't recommend making changes to any of your amenities in Booking.com. I would only recommend doing that through your provider, because that would be overwritten. However, the custom property description would not be overwritten. I can pull up where that is real quick. One second, let me just log in here and I can show everyone. Actually, Tara, do you mind if I use one of your properties as an example to show where? Okay,
Sure.
perfect. Okay. So where you would go, and again, just to clarify, this is different from your amenities that you would set up through your provider. So where you would go is on a listing page, you would select property and then go down to your profile. And then this is where you can put in your company profile, upload your logo, and then also put about the property in your own words. So this would show in addition to the description that Booking.com has already generated. So just to clarify, it won't eliminate the description that Booking.com has already written for you, because it does need to be translatable into those 45 different languages. It will just be in addition to the Booking.com description. So it'll be the Booking.com description and then your own custom description.
Okay. All right, and it'll show both. And will it translate our custom description also, or attempt to translate?
Yeah, so with the custom descriptions, it's not an automatic translation, but it does eventually get translated, if that makes sense. So we have within, and I apologize because I'm not an expert on how all the translations work. with your descriptions from your channel providers, all of that is automatically translated immediately in the different languages. With the custom description, it is kind of a rolling basis. So it will like slowly be available in different languages as the computer like update. I don't know. I can find more details on exactly how that works with the custom description.
Eventually get translated.
Yeah, but it does eventually get translated. It's just not immediate.
Okay. I think that's all. Oh, wait, we have one more. Are you thinking about launching a damage protection availability for booking?
Yeah. So currently we have liability insurance, but we also just released post protection insurance. So this is really exciting because it's something that we haven't had in the past. And I'm going to drop the link in the chat here. It's in partnership with Generali, and it's $1 million per stay. So let me drop this link in here. It's no extra cost either. Every reservation
Automatically built in?
Yeah, so every reservation is protected. It's brand new. So it just launched like last week. So you may not have gotten the email about it yet. Currently it's available to vacation rentals in the US, Puerto Rico, and the US Virgin Islands. But there's plans for different geographical areas to be added, and coverage will be $1 million per stay. So we're very excited about that. What's included is property and content. So furniture, flooring, landscaping, art, vehicles, any stationary vehicles or watercrafts at your property, any pet damages caused by pets during their stay, income loss. So when a booking needs to be canceled due to a covered guest damage for up to 3 months, any excessive cleaning costs, and lost or stolen items. So this is super exciting and is a great supplement to our current liability insurance. And it's something that we haven't had in the past. And of course, has been an issue for our hosts listing with us. They've essentially been responsible for any sort of setting up a damage deposit on their end. Whereas now we have this great partnership with Generali, where all reservations and stays booked on booking.com are now automatically covered up to $1 million per stay. I dropped the link in the chat, and that just gives you some more details, and then also how to submit a claim in the unfortunate situation that something did come up. The article that I dropped will show you how to submit a claim.
Okay.
So yeah, really great to have this out finally.
Yeah, that's some good news. And I've worked with Generali off and on for about 10 years. So good company.
Yeah. They've been great.
I think that's all we have for questions today. Thank you, Emily. That was informative. It was good to hear some new information, especially about going into the extranet and uploading custom property descriptions, because I know that's been on a lot of people's mind about, because it is translated, it is very some of it can seem very rudimentary on what the listing looks like. So now that you can have, custom information in there, it's a little bit more personalized to the property manager. And I think that's really appreciated.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just pulled up an example real quick of what it shows. So this is the front end. This is the guest facing end. Something that's great is that when you upload your company profile, you also get a company review score based on how many reviews and properties you have. So if you don't add this, the company review score will not be visible to the guest. So just a great way to market your company and your property in your own words, in addition to the automated description that booking.com provides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll either see you in person in Tahoe at our next roadshow or in Denver at the conference. And Emily, I will see you in person in Denver at the conference.
Yes. Can't wait. And Denver's great if anyone on this call has never been here. So I'm happy to show everyone around and give everyone great suggestions on where to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.